Welcome to the Autoshift, the enthusiast's guide to collector car evolution. My name is Jim Pickering. I'm here with Chad Allan Tyson and Chad Taylor, and we are here to talk about how the car world is shifting and how we see it evolving over time and where it's come from, where it's going. So let's start by just doing a quick introduction of ourselves. Chad, why don't you go first? Tell us who you are.
I'm Chad Taylor. I met these guys back in 2016 when we all started working for a magazine called Sports Car Market. They were already there. They hired me on. Spent about 5 years or so there. And before following Jim to another magazine called Linkage, where I worked for another year and a half or so before just becoming a freelancer for him. Prior to that and after that, currently, I work at the local Ferrari store, so got some kind of experience in the collector car world, also seeing the new car side at the high end for quite a while now as well. So that's kind of my background in this realm, I should say. But always been a car guy, always loved cars.
Yeah, that kind of echoes where I came from. I've been into cars for as long as I can remember. But professionally, I got involved with a magazine called Sports Car Market in 2006. Started there as auction editor and then worked my way up to managing editor. And I was there until 2020 when I left to start a magazine called Linkage. Both of those magazines were very heavy into tracking the collector car market via auction sales. And so I've got an awful lot of experience doing just that, working with riders all around the world, going to different auctions, tracking collector cars as they sell, what they sell for, and why. And beyond that, I've been a mechanic and I've been a classic car guy forever. And when I say classic cars, I really mean muscle cars and hot rods and trucks and things like that. I've written 2 books on building modified C10 pickups, 67 to 72 and then 73 to 87. And now I'm a freelance writer who covers market stuff and the collector car world. And also with you guys running the Autoshift.
Hi guys, I'm Chad Allan Tyson. Let's see, in addition to working with these guys, I started Sports Car Market. It was late 2010 because y'all had a 16,000 line spreadsheet that needed to be combed through, correcting year starts, year ends, for certain makes, certain models, also spell checking everything. So that was a couple months, and then you guys maybe we keep him around a little more. And so right after I got hired, I started doing the trips. So I've planned and done company trips around Amelia Island, Concours, Monterey, Car Week. Scottsdale Car Week before it was the whole week. That was some of the sports car market stuff that I've done. Prior to that, I was a technician at Ford, the Cheyenne dealer, for, 3 or 4 years. Prior to that, I worked at a hot rod shop under George Chisholm for, that was probably a year.
Right. And we should probably back up and talk about what those weeks actually mean to the world, the car world, and what they are. So typically you start with either it's a concours or a high-end collector car auction. And
there's always one kind of genesis point.
Right.
It's odd because Monterey, there's the Pebble Beach Car Show. Mm-hmm. That is the flagpole event for the whole thing. And that's been the model for everybody to design their car weeks around.
Right.
Then Amelia Island, you have the Amelia Island Concours hosted at the hotel there. Arizona's a little different in that the Concours came later.
Right.
It's mostly a sales-focused car week that has grown into car shows and whatnot. And the tentpole there, of course, being Barrett-Jackson.
Correct, yeah.
When they want to shift the sale by a week or two, everybody joins them.
Yes, they do.
There's just no way around it. Barrett-Jackson drives that truck.
Yes, they do. And they do a good job of it.
But you're right.
And one of the keys of what we're doing here with this podcast in particular is noting that these things, they're shifting a little bit.
Yep.
And I can't tell you how many times I heard from any number of people in the collector car world that young people just don't care. People tell me that all the time. and they're not
Ad
right.
nauseum. No, they are not.
They
they
just-
are not correct.
They are looking in the wrong places, and the cars themselves are shifting with the demographics of the people that care. And the people that care are still out there.
Oh, very much so. I think where a lot of the kids aren't into cars attitude comes from perhaps is your kids
Yeah.
aren't into cars. But the world, I guarantee you, is much, much wider than your children.
Well, they speak as if the 1960s were some kind of like mecca for all car people everywhere. Like everybody was all into cars back in the day. Maybe
No.
it was that more people were because there was no other way to socialize other than to get in your car and go somewhere with your friends.
Correct. Yeah.
But one of the things that Jay Leno points out is that, yeah, there may be fewer people into cars, but they are way deeper into cars than anybody was prior. Mm-hmm. And I think he's right in saying that. I think you've got an awful lot of people that just can't get enough to a level that you wouldn't have seen as frequently back in the day.
I think that we're at the point right now where the younger generation of car lovers is also not at the point where they can necessarily own a status symbol, which I feel like has become for decades, probably back, I think, 80s when they started re-restoring cars, when those, Ferraris that were, at that time, just used up old cars, suddenly became hundreds of thousands, now millions of dollars. All that stuff became a status symbol. And that's what kind of, I think to a certain point, drove the more mature generation. They all had status symbols to take to car shows.
Yeah.
And that's not where current collectors or current car lovers are at in that same realm.
Not the people coming in, certainly.
Yeah.
They'll pop by Wasted Space before you catch them at a Concours.
Well,
Yeah.
it's an aspect of...
Because they can get to Wasted Space.
That's it. It's a value thing, right? Wasted space is free.
Yeah.
And you have like-minded people who are there. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's the kind of thing that I've heard a lot from, let's just say, a different generation than the three of us sitting at this table, talking about how the only way to properly enjoy your car is with like-minded people in a club on a drive, which I never really bought into.
It's certainly a way to
Yeah.
enjoy it. I've done the Forest Grove Concours drive, and it's fun. Just being in a line, following the same people to stop after stop. Mm-hmm. At some point, me and the girlfriend at the time, we took the car and we went our own damn way.
Exactly.
Because it was a Lotus Elise, and I'm going to go have some fun on some corners here.
I guess my point is that it's... You see kind of the same thing, like if you're talking about Wasted Space. People are going there because there's like-minded people there. And so, yeah, that's definitely... Even though I never bought into it, I think it's not wrong.
The biggest shift in the last 5 years in the collector car market has been just how it's pickups. It's pickups. It's classic pickups. How strong they are in the market, and not just your kind of top level resto mod you'd find it at a Barrett Jackson in Scottsdale, or at Mecum and Kissimmee or Indy, or they would be the absolute lead vehicle in any regional auction. If they're going to pull in $200,000, I'm not necessarily talking about those trucks, because those have been good and strong for a little bit, a decade plus. But just how when I was watching Mecum Houston a couple weekends ago, it was shocking to see what the truck prices were bringing. Fairly standard, maybe slightly improved, square body pickups, not selling for $90,000.
Right.
Huh? That's just just so far out there now.
And what's the formula on those in terms of what they all have that are not selling for $90,000? That's the key, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's LS motor,
Yeah.
generally, some kind of lowered suspension, 20-inch wheels,
Yeah.
big brakes, and then whatever other custom touches you like. But those things have to be in place for that kind of money.
And the ones that didn't hit those numbers, they did not have those things. They were much more closer to a stock configuration. And the sellers are still wanting the resto mod numbers, or they are now wanting the resto mod numbers for things that haven't had that level of change. Not necessarily, not saying the work's bad or good or anything on that front. They just don't have those specific changes. And I think one of the big components of that is the LS engine.
Yeah.
Is it, whether it's an LQ4, LQ9, straight up LS1, whatever, architecture or block it is under that. The LS series is so key to having your modern truck that's classic,
Usable, reliable. There's millions and millions of them.
Relatively inexpensive. Well, I won't say that the swap is not inexpensive,
Right.
but the parts themselves are not hard to get.
Oh, how many guys have we seen on a Motor Trend program or your Power Nation program where we got the $2,000 or the $500 LQ4 out of some wrecked pickup in the parking lot or in the lot there? Had 230,000 miles. Then we threw a blower on it. Now we're making 450 horsepower, and it's awesome.
I did the same thing.
Yeah.
The first one that I swapped, my 79 that I built for my first book, LQ4 I got from a buddy for a couple $100.
Yep.
And it had wasted its oil pump, and so it needed bearings. That was it. I put bearings in it.
Ooh.
It had 70,000 miles on it.
Nice.
So I just ran the original heads. Actually, I bought a pair of 799 heads because with LQ9 flat tops and 799 heads, you get about 11-to-1 compression.
Nice.
Add a Lingenfelter cam on top of that, and you've got over 400 wheel horsepower.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Three little boop, boop, boop.
It's super easy to do, and that's why everybody does it. But I think you're absolutely right about the trucks. I think it's fascinating to see the trucks kind of take over the reins where you would have seen street rods and hot rods a couple of years ago.
Yes.
It seems like, and when I say they're taking over the reins, it's not just the value prospect. It's the fact that people are just building trucks instead of 32 Fords. And the people that I know
you
that
can
are
still use the bed
yeah,
in the truck as opposed. If you had a matching trailer for your 32, maybe.
it's funny. I had a friend of mine who's a street rod builder who
What are we, a Prowler dealer again?
Oh, no prowlers.
friend of mine went to an auction, I won't say which one, and was just put out by the number of trucks that were there. His comment to me was, it's just a bunch of effing trucks. He was looking for, 36 Fords, 34 Fords, that
Okay.
kind of stuff. And the attention that's being given to the trucks is on par with what you would have seen 10 years ago being applied to those hot
Agreed.
rods and street rods.
Agreed.
It's become the new focus because they are cheap, they're easy to find, there's a lot of them out there. Trucks, I mean.
Yeah. Then that's the same sort of basis as the hot rodders had, the street rodders had. What was cheap, what was plenty readily available. We're working with that.
Yeah.
I'd argue it's verged in on the muscle car side a little bit as well. For that very reason, muscle cars have been so hugely expensive that the classic, iconic muscle cars are so hugely expensive that there was a long time where, guys our age couldn't afford them. So what'd you find? The old C10, the old Ford out in the field somewhere, or on the side of the road that had been sitting in someone's yard for decades.
Well, yeah. At one point, it was readily and easily available to find a project, even a running sort of project for under $5,000.
Easy, yeah.
And you were just at the Portland Auto Swap Meet. How many shells did you see for $5,000? You said there was one or two first-gen Camaros?
There were 3 first-gen
three.
Camaros.
Okay.
And that is the entirety of the Expo Center, which was, I don't know how many tens of thousands of square feet that place is,
yeah.
plus
Many,
all the
many,
parking
many.
lots. It's 5 buildings. So there was that swap meet, and then the PIR swap meet, which is the entire length of the track, which is 2 miles.
Yeah.
And the infield, both sides of the track. 3 Camaros. That was it. Wow. First gen.
That's in contrast that from when I started figuring out what that thing was 15 years ago. There were probably 3 or 5 in the main front lot.
Yeah.
As you walked up to the convention center.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely been one of the most notable shifts in terms of, if you go to the swap meet, you'll see truck after truck after truck.
Yep.
And like you said, they're expensive now, even the ones that need everything. In fact, when I bought the 67 that I put together for my book, I had to go way, way out of town to find it. Because what I learned is that if you're trying to buy one of these trucks here in town, everybody makes you pay a town price for that truck. But if you get out in the country where these trucks are still just trucks, being used as trucks, and you find a wrecking yard or something that's away from a city center, the values tend to be much more reasonable. And the trucks don't tend, especially if you find a place that's dry, the truck won't be rusty. My 67 was perfect all the way around the windshield.
Gotcha.
Rocker panels were okay.
So you say we got to go shop in the Tri-Cities.
Yeah, Tri-Cities for sure. Yeah.
We're going high desert.
Absolutely. I mean, the stuff up there isn't rusty. I will give you a counterpoint on the most important thing that has happened over the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And by the counterpoint, what I really mean is something that hasn't happened that I think we all expected to happen. Tri-5 Chevrolets have not gone down in value the way we thought they would. And
okay, yeah, we did anticipate. I think we had the typical Tri-5 user in our brain, and we're like, oh, they're dying off. They got to be dead within 5 years.
When's the last time you saw anybody go to a sock hop, right?
Yeah.
And I thought for sure that...
Hot August nights.
Yeah, okay, well...
No, when we were there,
we've been there.
Last decade, they had a sock hop.
My last one was elementary school. I would just like to
They had a Hot August Nights prom. I remember you couldn't... You couldn't.
No, I couldn't. There were old ladies in poodle dresses. It was wrong.
Yeah.
Where's the bar?
Exactly. I watched things like same era Ford Thunderbirds, same era, Ford sedans. The numbers on those came down pretty significantly, and that's a demographic thing. That
Agreed.
is an aging out of the market. It's an aging out of the make and the model having any relevance to the pool of buyers.
Yeah.
They have moved on and they're looking at different things. I thought we would see the same kind of thing happen with the Tri-5, particularly, and I watched them closely because both me and our friend Jay Harden, we both have always wanted to get a Tri-5, and we've just been waiting for them to get cheap, right? And we figured...
But you missed the run-up, in the 80s or whatever.
At some point, the typical buyer is going to age out of this thing, and the market's going to come down. It's not going to vaporize, but it'll come down.
Yeah.
That hasn't happened. Part of what I think is going on here, and you guys can correct me if you think I'm wrong, the media world has shifted pretty significantly. There are an awful lot of people that have been in the magazine world who are no longer in the magazine world, and they've transitioned onto YouTube or other social platforms. A bunch of these guys are building gassers, Tri-5 Chevy gassers, both men and women. And I think that there is a following that is seeing these guys build these things on social platforms, on YouTube, and it's kind of reinvigorating a drive for people to like these cars and to understand what they are. And I think it's hilarious to consider that Richard Ruth, the guy that built the two-lane blacktop 55 that became the American Graffiti 55, is maybe going to be the savior of that make and model for a whole new generation of people that are interested in them.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Wow. I had not been keeping up on that aspect of because you're after one.
Yep.
And they are what they are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
well,
I mean, it's
a little early for my taste, but if you like them, you like them.
But any of the ones that are jacked up in the front that you see on YouTube right now, Blasphemy is the perfect example. Mike Finnegan's car.
Yeah.
He's built one. Tony Angelo's built one. There's a number of them that are. Cool. David Newburn's got like 6 of them.
Okay.
I just find it interesting that the focus has kind of come back around on that. And I wonder if that's going to happen to some of these other makes and models as well, that we just haven't seen it happen yet. Look at the run-up in Trans Am prices, second-gen Trans Am prices, which we watched at SCM back in the day, right?
Oh, yeah.
It was after you started, so it had to have been...
It was like 2017.
Yeah, 20, somewhere time between 2015 and 2017. The numbers on those cars just went bananas. Mm-hmm. And it kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, we were watching them sell for 12 to 15 to 20 grand, and we're talking
all
cars.
Day long.
Yeah,
all day long.
This would be 77s through 80 probably.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The Screaming Chicken years.
Yep.
And the Bandit years, and all of a sudden, somebody, I don't know when it happened, there was a particular car that came across, and it changed everybody's view of those things.
Didn't it go for like 80?
There was one of them that did, and it might have been that it was. Because Barrett Jackson did it big, right? They had one of Burt Reynolds' cars.
Yes, they did.
And he was there on the stage, and they sold it. But I want to say that that happened after the run-up.
Correct. Yeah, no, there was already... we were well on our way.
Yeah.
Before old... Which one was he?
Which one was he, Burt?
Yeah. Is he Smokey?
No, he's the Bandit.
He's the Bandit. It has been a while.
Well, yeah. But if you watch the third one, I think, doesn't, what's his name? The singer who plays the snowman.
Burl. No.
You were going to say Burl Ives.
I was.
Different snowman. Jerry Reed.
Jerry Reed.
Jerry Reed played the Bandit in the third one.
Good old Burl.
Can you imagine if Burl Ives sang Eastbound and Down?
No.
Oh, God, I got to go ask AI to do that for me now.
Yeah,
Wrong
no, not
snowman.
Burl Ives. Jerry Reed. There we go.
They're very similar, those two. But anyway, the point is that those cars went up in value abruptly, and then they held for a while.
A bit. Yeah.
And I want to say that they still have held value.
I think they have established themselves over other Trans Ams. Obvious exception being the very first one, 1969. But I think those ones have been placed above. Now, I mean, I don't know if they're necessarily above like the SD 455s.
No, those ones are definitely. It's a different buyer. Though.
Yeah, that's a different car.
Yeah.
We're not talking those. If you could show me the same person who's into those two cars, that's a weird guy.
You're talking about style versus performance.
Yes.
Because the SD 455 is no joke.
No, they're amazing.
Yeah, and the Bandit era Trans Am is not fast.
No, it
fact,
kind of is a joke.
To bring it full circle, they used the American Graffiti and the two-lane blacktop 55 to dub in the sound for the Bandit Trans Am in the first movie. So there you go.
That's
Pride
awesome.
5 Chevys lifting all the boats.
Yeah. Apparently.
Yeah. But anyway, I think that's we're going to see, I think, the same kind of thing happen with cars like that. I mean, you could say the same thing about first or second gen Chargers, right? 68 to 70
Yep.
Dodge Chargers. You know, screen power.
You're gonna have to tell people that those are actually the second generation Chargers.
I know.
Because so many people don't know even what the first ones look like.
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of would like it's playing into this. For me, the biggest change I think coming in from pandemic stuff was kind of a new push for or value in experiencing your car. And that's kind of goes from top to bottom.
Are we talking maybe a less emphasis buying for show and
Yes,
instead buying something you would use?
Yeah, you're not gonna. It's the car that you're gonna park in your garage. That being your singular focus is less important now, at least as the only thing you want. You're kind of off to this verging off into a car that you want to drive. You're not afraid to drive, and that goes across age spectrum, I think, but also European, American, whatever. Kind of going into the trucks. You want something you can drive. You're not afraid to drive a truck. They made a gazillion of them. Porsches, 911s. You're seeing a lot of kind of verging into, I would say, customized Porsches. Some of them are super expensive, but there's a lot of people that want a Porsche that's drivable. If you can get the old style one and make it a little more drivable and usable and fun.
Yeah. Well, and also, I mean, customized Porsches. I mean, if you got the right name on it, I mean, those are
that's the
heads
thing
and
now.
tails above
Absolutely.
the rest of the market.
That's a whole unique thing, I think, on that side of the Euro side.
It's very it's especially with the Porsches. I mean, you got your various outlaw ones.
Right.
Who doesn't love the Singer ones?
Emery, Singer.
Yeah.
Who else makes those?
Is it Gunther?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, Roof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. Just some of those roof prices in Amelia Island, where I mean, they were astounding.
Yeah.
It was amazing what those things were bringing above. I mean, and I mean, if you're gonna sell a Porsche at collector car auction, Amelia Island is one of the premier spots in the world to unload it.
Thank you, Gooding and Company.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, Gooding and Company. They pioneered that, and we know Jerry Seinfeld has sent many a thing through there and bought a few as well.
Yeah.
But that is the spot to be trading Porsches.
This is off topic a little bit,
that's
but
fine.
let's also give credit to the Amelia Island Concord.
Yeah.
Who
now owned by Haggerty.
Yeah. Bill Warner, though, back when he was running it, very much pushed that into I would argue, a new territory for a big Concord?
You'd never seen a Concours so closely tied in with motorsport.
Yeah,
That's what
race
was
cars.
so unique about Amelia.
Newer, more modern race cars as well.
And the people that made them famous.
Yeah.
Or I should say the cars that made the people famous, the people that made the cars famous. It was all together at Amelia. And Bill Warner knows everybody.
Yeah.
He's friends with everybody. So he can bring in the big names. I mean, when I did an interview with Jackie Ix at Linkage, I got through to him because Bill Warner facilitated it. I mean, and that's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, I think usability and an experience has become a little more central. We might be kind of sliding back into our Garage Queen thing.
You know, it would be.
But I think there's a lot of secondary cars too. That
it would be fascinating to track that. You could look at the patina movement and lay it over the top of it, because the whole notion of a car that is not perfectly finished is something you don't have to worry about using.
Yes.
And so without that without that hanging over your head while you're driving it, and we know what's happened with cars that are, I mean, it sort of follows the barn find craze, which kicked off way back when. And
It won't die.
It's the whole notion of Indiana Jones meets the car world, lost treasure and all that, even if the story's better than the reality. But the point is, you could quantify people's desire to actually want to use their cars with a rise in values for things that aren't pristine.
Yeah.
And on purpose aren't pristine.
And I think probably what Chad brought up, trucks, SUVs, the classic stuff like that, is kind of a prime example. Something that was a little bit looked over, secondary to muscle cars for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But then when your Camaro is worth 80 grand, versus a truck where you can buy it for 10 and then do some stuff to it and drive it for a lot less than that and not be afraid of doing it.
And it's underneath, it's basically the same platform.
Yeah.
It's the truck world is definitely a knee-jerk reaction to the muscle car world, or at least it was. But the problem is the knee-jerk reaction became its own movement, and you can't even look at it like that anymore, because now people that are into trucks, they're into it because not only did they have one when they were younger and they're going back and revisiting that, because now we're 20 years past when they first got super expensive, or at least started to get expensive, and people are trying to recapture that same youth. And it's the same thing that happened to the muscle car market.
Yeah.
I mean, when the truck market kicked off, it was because the muscle cars got expensive because the original muscle car owners were going back and rebuying those things. And now it's happening again with trucks, and people are starting to buy Blazers and Broncos, or I should say the Blazer and the Bronco market took off, I think, for the same reason. Mm-hmm. People realized that they couldn't fit their family in the back seat of a truck because there was no back seat in their truck, and they needed something that had that same truck feeling, same truck ability, but had a back seat.
Yeah.
And now you've got Blazers and Broncos being built to the nines and bringing $440,000 when they sell at Barrett Jackson, Scottsdale, thanks to the Hogan built vehicles that they bring in there.
Mm-hmm.
I think those ones are less about the experience. That's the thing. That's
right?
Your car show.
People aren't going to be driving those things off road when you spend that kind of money on them, but they could.
They could.
And I suppose maybe that's the thing. I've always liked Broncos and Blazers and trucks because you don't have to drive one showing off the fact that you have 1 million horsepower. It's a different experience. If you show up to a car show in a Bronco, nobody's going to expect you to do a burnout, especially not if it's lifted. Because they all know that you'd be taking your life in your own hands by trying to do that.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to see a twisted drive shaft? Come on.
Yeah. And so it's a different experience. It's a slower experience. It's a more family-oriented experience. That's not to say that muscle cars aren't great for that kind of thing, too. And it's all about how mature your owner is. And,
Always subject to that. Always subject to that.
But, yeah.
Age doesn't necessarily mean maturity.
No.
Never has.
Yeah.
Growing old is a choice. It's a choice we make, guys. I choose not to.
But yeah, why do we give a shit about cars? I mean, there's the butt feel. That's a lot of fun. How it makes you feel as you're going through the turns and shifting gears and making the wheel move. There's family ties. Mm-hmm. Dad had a truck, Grandpa had a truck, Dad had a Chevelle. There's also just the escape of it. I mean, yeah, my first car was an 89 Mercury Topaz, but I cannot tell you how many miles I put on that thing. Mm-hmm. Just because I had a set of keys, I had my own wheels, I had a job that I could get gas with, and I went everywhere. I drove everywhere all the time for a long while, just because I now had this thing I could go and do, freedom. And that's when it hearing the olds talk about their cars from back in the day. I mean, that's when it clicked. It's like, I get it. The freedom. This is, you can do your own damn thing now. Obviously within the constraints of society, otherwise there's laws and everything on that front. But if you want to go visit your buddy John, hop in your own damn car and go and do it.
Yep.
You don't have to, the reliance on others in the immediate moment, obviously we're not building our own damn cars from scratch here, is replaced. The car is the replacement for so many things. Just allowing people to do things. And then, when I discovered V8 power, that was a lot more fun.
Going faster.
Then my, was it a one? I don't even remember the engine size.
In the Topaz?
In the Topaz. It was a 1.8 liter? Four-cylinder? I don't remember.
That's what I had in my 914, my first car.
Again, the heater worked. That was the important part on that Topaz.
Yeah, Chad, did your heater work?
That was the least of the worries if the car started. I mean, I couldn't even drive yet anyway.
Well, but
so,
you were growing up out
like
here. You
14.
were dealing with Wyoming winters.
It didn't get cold.
No, and if I lost the screwdriver to start it with, it wouldn't matter anyway. So,
But I mean, why do you care about cars, Chad?
you're talking and I'm thinking about it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't really know. It's just always been.
That's fine too.
I mean, I grew up going to cruisins in the local area. My grandpa loved Packards. He had 4 boys that all liked cars. There's plenty of family stories where they lived in city limits and their driveway was full, and so was the like that little alleyway along their house that the city actually owned, with just random Packards cars. My dad's owned multiple Camaros, and then they've gone into, worse cars like that, like Vegas, things like that route. But
Cosworth Vegas?
no,
No.
like trading in a '69 Camaro with a tired motor for a Chevy Vega.
Ooh.
That's
Well,
going to quickly have a tired motor.
We've all got that story.
He still regrets that. Yeah. But it's always just been that kind of route for me, going to all those places. My uncle and my brother owned it for a while too. I always had a '64 Impala convertible in his garage. My grandpa, some of my earliest kind of car related memories was over his workbench was the chrome grille off his 36 Packard convertible. The car was torn apart. It was just a frame and various body panels kind of all over. But that grille up there made an impact. I mean, those were not small. Especially to
they
a
weren't.
small child.
The defining piece.
Yeah. So it's just kind of always been that way. He always had Model Ts too. As well for me, I live on a farm, so I've gone that way with tractors and trucks. We talked a little bit about like old semi-trucks, COEs, cab overs. That very much is very cool to me as well. That coming from the American specific side of it, I just wanted to be weird and different. So 914,
people,
Mini,
nothing wrong with the contrarian streak.
yeah, and
Nothing wrong with that.
Regardless of what it is, I like to stand out from the crowd. I don't want to stand out. I just want to not have the same thing as everyone else. So,
And you prefer not to be standing there when your car's burning to the ground, right?
that's
not the reason you want to be standing apart from the crowd.
That could have happened a few times. I mean, I did drive the Jag, an '89 XJS to high school. There were several curious occurrences in that, like you'd expect from any British car from that era.
Was it still the Lucas wiring at that
I think
point?
so.
Okay.
I think so.
They never improved over 20 years?
I don't know. Some stuff worked, some stuff didn't.
Fair
It was
enough.
just part of the car.
Yeah.
I never got to experience those heated seats, but the switches and the light came on.
It
So
would have been a nerve-wracking experience. Heated seats with Lucas wiring.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
What's the heat? Is it open flame?
Yeah, it could be.
This is also the car too, where it had those like passive restraint sliding ones.
Oh, yeah.
So-
The late 80s loved
Yeah, the two
loved
piece.
that.
So this car, it didn't work on this car. So it was always back, and I don't think the little button to release it might have been broken. So I got in the car and then I just slid under the. So
from what I understand, the fun fact of the day is that dealers still had to stock parts for those for years after they quit doing it because of.
It's a safety thing.
Yeah, it's a regulation.
It's a safety thing.
You could have taken it to the dealer and they would have had to fix it for you.
Oh, I know. It's a safety thing now when you get in there and that thing tries to come up and smack you.
Yeah, it tries to choke
my
you.
head. Didn't like that either.
Well, I
Oh,
will
boy.
echo your sentiments. I think it is why should people care about cars, collector cars, any cars? It's performance, it's status, and it's freedom in equal measures. I think most people will find some aspect of one of those three pillars more compelling than the others.
Yes.
But it's some mix of those three things.
There's always those three. Yeah, no, we got a tripod here for
Yeah.
the foundation, and which one is maybe more than the other.
All right, well, that wraps it up for this edition of the Autoshift. Check us out on the Autoshift.com, where we have news and blogs and all sorts of things posted every week. And we'll also have all of our videos posted there, too. Follow us on social. And anything else you guys want to say?
Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter.
Oh, that's right. Yes, we will bring content direct to you every week if you sign up for our newsletter, which you can do on theautoshift.com. Does that sum it up?
Yeah,
More or less?
more or less.
All right. We'll go from there.
Yeah. I liked it.